In 1994, Mobb Deep released the promotional single Shook Ones, their debut release on Loud Records after being dropped by their former distributor Island Records the previous year due to the commercial failure of the duo's first album, Juvenile Hell. Loud and Mobb Deep both liked the track but felt that it hadn't reached its full potential and agreed to give the song another try. Havoc got to work making new beats using an Akai MPC-60 and an Ensoniq EPS-16 Plus that Prodigy's grandmother had bought for him. The resulting track was Shook Ones Part 2, a song that would put Mobb Deep on the map and lead to their second album, The Infamous, reaching sales of over 1 million copies.
Check it out now.
But before we get into the beat, I'm unfortunately going to have to dispel a myth for some of you. Havoc didn't actually sample a Project Stove for the hi-hat.
But did it really start from a stove?
Nah. Look. You know when a myth take a life of his own, and you just be like, fuck it. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, so you just agree with the myth. I be like,
every time I turn the stove on,
but the myth sound better than the real story, so I just be like, fuck it.
Go with
it. It came from the stove.
With that out of the way, let's get into the sounds Havoc actually did use for the beat, starting first with the drums.
One of the A&Rs, Matty C, he told me about, these record conventions that they be having where they sell old vinyl and, for sampling. And a lot of producers go there. And I went to one of those and, found the drums for the Shook Ones Part 2. It was on this vinyl called Vinyl Dog. To capture the drums at this point, I had acquired an MPC-60.
So Havoc says the drums were done on an MPC-60. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those, but I do have an MPC-2000XL. The MPC-60 sampled in 12 bits at 40 kHz, mono input only. Conveniently, the 2000XL has a resample feature, so we can go ahead and sample in mono and then resample down to 12 bits at 40 kHz. Somebody's gone ahead and ripped the Vinyl Dogs Volume 1 record to YouTube, so we can sample directly from the source Havoc used. Now let's resample that down to match the sound of the MPC-60. Now we can go ahead and set the volumes and pitch them as needed. And now we've got a pretty good approximation of the MPC-60 sound. Before we can copy that drum sequence, we're going to need a few things to layer on top. The song starts out with a hi-hat and snare, so we can grab those directly. There's also a kick layer that provides the main hits for the song, which I've got here. But we're still missing one thing. Listen again closely to the original drum track. It sounds like there's an 808 underneath the second snare, so let's go ahead and add that too. And now we can make the Shook Ones drum sequence. I've got the Vinyl Dogs drums chopped here in 2 different parts with some light filtering added, with 2 versions of the kick, one in full and one gated. So now we can recreate the sequence. And now we've got the Shook Ones drum sequence. So now let's go ahead and grab the other samples we need.
One of the records I happened to pick up was Herbie Hancock, Jessica. I experimented with just that one little 2 seconds. I sampled into the EPS Plus, and on the EPS Plus, when you sample into it, it's like a keyboard. You could move up and down the keys and change the pitch of the sample.
Havoc said he used a sample of Jessica by Herbie Hancock for Shook Ones, so let's go ahead and sample that into the EPS 16 Plus. The sample comes in at 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Something interesting Havoc did is make slight adjustments to the 2 pitches of this sample. So we're going to copy this waveform, and we'll take that first copy, and we'll pitch it up by 30 cents. And we'll take the second one, we're going to pitch this one up 10 cents. And now we'll go back, and for this entire layer, we're going to select the 3-pole low-pass and 1-pole high-pass filters, and we'll set them to 91 and 45 respectively. Now let's get the bass sound. Havoc actually sampled Jessica for this also.
So at that point, I was like, okay, this is dope. It sounds dope, but I was like, I need a bass line. So I filtered a note of the piano, isolated it, and then used that as a bass line.
I think Havoc actually misspoke here. I've tried pitching the piano all kinds of ways with the EPS-16, but couldn't even come close to the Shook One's bass sound. What I think actually happened was that he sampled a note of the double bass from Jessica and isolated it with the filters. The bass note I think he used comes in just a few seconds after the main sample, at 3 minutes and 5 seconds. We'll go ahead and use the same filters as before, set to 40 and 0 this time. And we'll pitch this up 10 cents too. This will require some additional filtering and EQing in post to get the sound right. The last thing we need now is the sample used at the intro and chorus.
And now I need something to say that, okay, the chorus is here, or this is the intro. And then I came across this Quincy Jones record, another weird record. Like, it's nothing about it is melodic.
The song Havoc is talking about is Kitty with the Bent Frame from the soundtrack to the film Dollars. The sample comes in at 1 minute and 15 seconds. We're going to pitch this up 28 cents. And we'll go ahead and make a copy of this. We'll have this one start at the beginning of the sample. And we'll have this one start about halfway through. And this time we'll use the 2-pole low-pass and 2-pole high-pass filters, set to 127 and 95. And that's it. We've got all the components of Shook One's Part 2. Now that I've got everything tracked out into Logic here and done quite a bit of post-processing, let's see how it sounds. Pretty close if you ask me. Well, I think that's going to do it for now. I hope you guys enjoy this different kind of video from my normal content. I'm going to be expanding the type of videos I make and committing to doing at least one video a month, so be on the lookout for new things coming your way soon. I'd also like to give a shout out to Fur on the Cat's Eye Discord server who helped me with the bass sample. He actually manages the Sample Sanctuary channel here on YouTube, which I'm a big fan of, so definitely go check his videos out. Also, if you'd like to get the stems from my Shook Ones Part 2 recreation, they're available on my Patreon, which is linked below, as is a link to the Discord server and the sources I used for this video. Thanks for watching.